What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a look at some Animal Kingdom pirates. Yeah, that's right. There's some Animal Kingdom pirates that we need to have a little bit of a chat about. And we need to start off with one that is honestly a little bit surprising. One that we maybe didn't see coming. Now, the character, it's Jack, by the way, we definitely did see coming. But the card, and what the card actually does, well, that's a little bit of a surprise. Now, it is a super rare from the set. I want to say the final super rare. I think so. And it's a 7-cost, 8,000 power. It's fine. It's not a particularly stunning card or a special card in terms of stats. There's no counter. 7-cost, 8k, fine, not great. But it's actually an 11-cost when it matters. Because what happens is, it's got a static skill whereby on the field it gets +4 cost. So it's actually an 11 cost on the field. Now, this is good for a number of reasons. But mainly, I suppose, the number one reason is, it makes it really hard to remove. We've got a million skills out there that will get a character with cost X or lower off the board. Well, yeah. Now you're an 11 cost, but you've only actually paid 7. And, I mean, look, you got 8k. That's not a phenomenal amount of power, but it ain't too bad. So now all of a sudden you got a decent attacker that is very hard to remove. Not impossible to remove by any stretch of the imagination, but far more difficult to remove. And that's one of the things I really, really like about this card. The +4 cost actually does make a huge difference. Like right now in the West, the best deck is Blue-Black Sakazuki. And we've got stuff like Rob Lucci that KOs a 2 cost and a 1 cost. Well, all of a sudden that is significantly more, and we know Black's got a whole bunch of tricks to lower cost, right? We know that's the thing. It has been since Black debuted in Starter Deck 6. But the fact is, it is now significantly more difficult to do that. It's going to take, -4. There are some -4 skills around, don't get me wrong, but a lot of them are -2, -3. A lot of the time, it's going to take an extra couple of skills to bring this down. And if your opponent just goes, it's basically an 11 cost, it's too expensive, brilliant. Or if they do get it down, they've spent a lot more resources than they normally would, brilliant. The other time this becomes pretty good is with the new style of Black decks. That is to say, the decks which focus on increasing cost or having a character with a certain cost on the board. So, for instance, we've got stuff like Nami, for instance. If you've got an 8 cost or higher character and you've got 6 or fewer cards in hand, you get to draw a card. Now, admittedly, you don't need to be up to an 11 for that, you only need to be up to an 8. But still, you're a 7 cost that counts as an 8 cost. You don't need to do any more playing around to get up there, which is lovely. Or the Nico Robin, that on playing when attacking, if you've got an 8 cost or higher character, you get to give one of your opponent's characters -5 cost. I said there are some -4 cost skills around, that's obviously a -5 cost. And I know we don't need much more than 8 cost. Like in this starter deck 14, where these cards are coming from, we don't really need that much more. But then again, take Luffy. If you've got a 10 cost character or higher on the board, Luffy gains Rush. Lovely. Well, now all of a sudden, Luffy's an 8 cost, and you could muck around, playing the leader and Sunny or whatever, trying to make sure that you put Luffy up to a 10 cost, or just have Jack down. There are good reasons to turn a 7 into an 11 and why that's awesome. This is brilliant. But it's not actually the only thing we see on here. We've got activate main. You may rest this character and then draw a card, trash a card from your hand, and KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. Lot of stuff going on there. But basically, resting this, not ideal, because obviously you're a big attacker, but the fact that you're an 11 cost does make it harder to get it off the board. But drawing one, trashing one is good, and being able to do that every single turn is very good. And KOing a 3 cost or lower character, remember, one of the things that Black like doing so much is reducing cost. So again, that free cost isn't really a free cost when you think about it. This is a very good card. Obviously, we're talking largely about King here, yeah? King is the black-purple Animal Kingdom Pirates leader from this set. And you know what? It's shaping up kind of nicely. But don't worry, I promised you a few Animal Kingdom Pirates cards I intend to deliver. I don't want anyone out there thinking I'm a horrible, horrible liar. So how about Who's Who? 5 cost, 5,000 power, counter plus 2,000. And this is actually a great card. Because on play, you can discard a card from your hand to KO an opponent's free cost or lower character. And as a trigger, you get to KO one of your opponent's free cost or lower characters. And you'll notice, of course, that we had the same thing in terms of KOing a free cost or lower. That seems to be what we're going after here. And you know what? Yeah, that honestly sounds pretty gosh darn good. But what I love about this card is one of those where if you play it, it's good. Because you're KOing a free cost and then you've just got a 5k body on the board. If it's in your hand as a counter, it's good. You've got counter plus 2k. And if it comes out from your life, it's good because it's got a really good trigger. It's one of those rare cards that is good when you play, and as a trigger, and as a counter. You've got a bunch of different ways in which this character could come out and be super duper 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 useful. And that just makes me really happy, honestly. That makes me very, very happy indeed. This is a very good card that I think we all need to be keeping a little bit of an eye on, because this is one that I think could make a little bit of a difference. But those two are not the only two Animal Kingdom Pirates we need to have a little bit of a look at in today's video. We've also got Sasaki, and actually another very good card. Now, as an attacker, it's kind of garbage. 1 cost, 1k, no thank you. But you got counter plus 2k again, which is good. Second Animal Kingdom Pirates we've seen here that are, well, counter plus 2k, which is bootyful. And then we've got an activate main. You may rest one of your Don and rest this character, and then one of your opponent's characters gets -2 cost for the turn. Now, I admit that there is a little bit going on there, and it's asking quite a lot of you. Resting one of your Don and this character, little bit of a pain. But having a -2 cost just sitting on the board is kind of awesome. Remember, I told you a minute ago, one of the things that black decks love to do is lower the cost of your opponent's characters. It's kind of their thing. Being able to do it on play is nice. Being able to do it every turn because you've got a character there with a skill that you're activating, that makes a very big deal. I really like this. And again, just like we said with Who's Who a minute ago, you've got that plus 2k counter. Which means that if you never end up playing this, it's still an awesome card because you've got it as a counter. Now, it's not perfect because you don't have a trigger and the 1k is kind of rubbish. But the idea of being able to put a 1 cost down on the board early in the game, and obviously 1 cost do come out pretty early, and then essentially just using it turn after turn after turn to be lowering cost of your opponent's characters in a way which is massively going to help you out. Yeah, that honestly sounds alright by me. And you put these 3 together, and you've got a decent amount of characters here. We've got some very good stuff going on. Now, of course, for King, if you have forgotten, what we've got from the leader here is activate main once per turn, Don -2, and then you get to choose one of the following things. Either, if you've got 5 cards or less in hand, you draw 1. Draw is good. Or you give one of your opponent's characters -2 cost, which is honestly pretty good as well. You are lowering cost nicely with your leader. And remember, I've just shown you that Jack can KO a free cost or lower when you activate main. Who's Who can KO a free cost or lower on play or as a trigger. And Sasaki can -2 cost as a static skill. What that basically means is with very little effort, you work Sasaki down on the board, right? And then all of a sudden, Who's Who and Jack are going after 7 costs. 7 cost, -3 for your leader skill, -3 for Sasaki's skill. What do you end up with? Oh, look. You're a 3 cost, which is where you're going here. Okay, fine, you're still going to be a way away from getting an opposing Jack, but you are really going after some of your opponent's characters very, very nicely here, and I kind of love this. And let's not forget, we've still got Black Maria, who can ramp 5 Don a turn, and yes, I know you have to put Don back at the end of your turn, but only until you've got the same number or less than your opponent. So using Don minus on your leader is really not a big deal, because you can use Black Maria to ramp your Don, and if you're tied or got less than your opponent, you don't have to even give it back. Yeah, Animal Kingdom Pirates are shaping up very, very nicely indeed. But now there's 3 new ones. I've told you about them. I want to hear from you. Do you think they're good? Do you think they're awesome? What do you think? Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.